do? Something like that.
So usually Eric's sitting there.
Oh, okay.
And he's like keeping an eye on the computer and making notes. If there's some like dead space or something, he'll make a note of it, and then I don't have to edit in real time.
Oh,
I can
okay.
just like go to the timestamps where he was like, "Hey, this was kind of wonky." So this one, I'm gonna have to like listen back through the whole thing and just make sure it's like there's not like a 3-minute moment where we're both like,
And I'll try not to say like too many times.
Yeah.
Or I might.
And no one will know if you do.
Oh, secret.
I got you. Today in the studio we have Felipe and Encina. Psychedelic folkloric.
Psycho-Folkloric, Funkadelic, multi-genre traveler.
Oh, hell yeah.
Extraordinaire.
Yeah, you came up with that recently, right?
Yeah, I think within the last year or so.
Psycho-Folkloric, Funkadelic, multi-genre traveler, artist, designer, and illustrator.
The whole 9 yards.
Hell yeah, brother. I love your art.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
There's a whole world inside your head. See, that's where Eric would have saved our ass 5 minutes ago.
Okay. So
if you, the listener, caught that skip, we'll leave that in. I said there's a whole world inside your head.
There's a whole wide world going up in that noggin.
Do we attempt to reenact the conversation, or do we give a play-by-play of the conversation and then get back to it?
Let's do both. No.
I'll do one and you do the other, and we'll each try to be louder than the other guy.
Let's talk at the same time.
Yeah.
That'd be so nice.
So what I was saying was that there's a whole world inside your head, and you were working on making a stylistic shift towards making pieces that exist to enhance the...
I don't have to share. Now let's do that for the next 2 hours.
How you doing, Mike AM? It's a good day for a podcast. He said, yeah, let's do it. I said, fuck yeah, okay, let's do it. And that's how it happened, and it's happening now.
The podcast is an art in itself, right? We're painting time. We started talking in our conversation that got cut off and we didn't notice about creating wallpaper, creating something that becomes a part of the scene instead of... Sometimes you have a painting and there's a lot going on, but it just kind of looks like a splotch on the wall, and it's all about itself. It draws you in and you look at it and it's beautiful, which I think very much your art, your older art does. I remember being totally, hypnotized by it. I was like, it's like someone just like gave you stills, like threw out stills from a comic book. And you're like, where can I get this comic book? And they're like, it doesn't exist.
In my brain.
Yeah. You're like, wow. And you just like imagine all the story from like one thing to the other. So stylistically, you noticed a shift. You've always been drawing this faceless character, but not No Face from Spirited Away.
Oh, that is the same name, isn't it? Yeah.
Were you saying No Face? But it's a very different, because No Face's faces. I mean, he does have a hole as well, but it goes in. Yours, your No Face character, it goes. Do you see through the other side?
Do I see? Sometimes.
Sometimes. Depends. Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of mystery to that character, so.
Oh, what else can you say? Or what else have you discovered about them? Do you feel like you know this character inside and out because it's a part of you, or do you, are you like just along for the ride when you close your eyes and let your mind drift off with into this little world?
I'd say mostly along for the ride. When it started out, it was just I loved it because it was just a noodly kind of generic character, and like what better way to not represent something like without a face? Just this object. But like you were saying, over time, I learned a lot about it. I guess I would say it's come so far now as to be like an extension Or like a metaphor for, what's the word, like subjective viewing? Is that it?
Subjective objective is like one's personal thing. So subjective, like subjective, I think is ideally like devoid of a viewer.
Yes.
Like it's unaffected by it. Mm-hmm. You're saying that's what No Face is? He's like subjectivity. You've personified like non-personification.
Exactly. Yeah, they're just always behind me, kind of looking at shit I do, and they're like, okay.
It's like nothing is something. You can't pretend.
Yeah.
Like if you say, you know, what's nothing? Well, it's everything that's not this. It's like, well, that's something. You just defined it. You just put it in a box and gave me that box.
That's that's part of the mystery of it, I'd say. Yeah, I like it because it's such a juxtapose to like my other art, which is so like, or my old art, which is so defined and like detailed and structured and like kind of holding your hand and like showing you these places and like going these things. This is this way. This is this way. And then the other one is just, here's just a bunch of shit you can't really understand. And like, here's just kind of noodly, like loose, colorful things, you know?
You invite the person to like put their own meaning onto it. Yeah,
I found that to be more enjoyable, I think, overall lately. Yeah. Giving people more mystery and kind of just, because it incites imagination in someone else, right? Like you can give someone a story and then explain everything like Lord of the Rings style, or you can kind of have something that's more vague and like doesn't really have answers. And then I find that like with me, like I really enjoy content like that because my brain just fills it in itself, and then I come up with new things to think about, you know.
And then you can argue with strangers on the internet about what it actually means.
Yeah. And
no, you idiot!
How dare you don't disrespect my character. But no, yeah, it's fun because then it can also always kind of change. It's kind of cheating in a way. You know what I mean? Not cheating, but I can always say it's something else. I can always say it's this and that. And then
who are your favorite artists who do that for you, where like they give you like a few pieces of visual information, and then it just like the way they give you those couple of building blocks just sends your imagination running?
Artistically, well, I'm looking at the poster now. You got Dolly up there.
This comes up in like every other episode.
Well, it's right there.
This painting's so freaking good.
It's funny. I had that same poster on my wall when I was a kid.
Oh wow!
I probably learned about Dolly when I was like 12 or something like that. My mom would like buy me books and stuff of like these naked people like deformed and stuff. But it's inspiring, and yeah, that he just captures that essence of like kind of like madness. Like there's a darkness to it, but there's also like a wonder that kind of pulls you in.
But it's like this like deep, I don't know, like societal madness, like on like a mythological level.
Yeah.
There's like this kind of symbolism which, you know, the clocks or the god's hand holding the flower here, this like dog eating something, like these are all just like powerful archaic images and such, and he just kind of makes this weird collage of them, but then like probably the ordering of them, the layout is also significant.
Oh, I bet it all must mean something to him, right? I mean, of course. But yeah, it's a very like modern folkloric. Oh, let's use that word.
Yes. Okay, so that's how you've been defining your own art style lately, or you've come to realize that's sort of what you're doing. So it's building upon these old traditions.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that word psycho-folkloric because it's, again, it has like that kind of mystery to it, but it seems like there's a purpose with it, you know? I mean, it comes off very unique. Like you kind of have your own style, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Your own kind of folklore and tales. Like it's fine to respect other ones and like take from other cultures and stuff. But then I don't know what I'm trying to say. This might be a crazy train moment.
It's all right. Roll with it,
Roll.
or don't pull that
it.
lever. Switch the tracks to another tracks if you want.
Chug it or pull it. Psycho-Folkloric. Everyone's got something like special inside of them, something weird. Like people see things differently, and I think it's really cool to kind of present that in a way that's like story based or like kind of like Dolly. I don't know.
So when you're saying folkloric, are you building folklore or are you remixing existing folklore, or both?
Both. I'd say it's a bit of both. Yeah. Certainly with making it too. Because even in the context of now and like the art I'm doing now, all the art I did beforehand and all those stories and stuff, it's still there and it still plays into what I'm thinking about now. Like it's adding to it, it's building to it, I guess so. And I think that's important because it gives off a sense of like history with art, which is very cool, like in a sequential matter without putting it into a comic book, so to say. I think it gives off this different like vibe, like when people come to it, because it seems so dense and like there's a lot going on, but I think it kind of just gives it like this new life, kind of. Yeah, I think that's the answer. I think so.
I'll accept that. Check. You got a check plus.
Good.
Did you study art? Like with people? Did you have like visual art mentors or?
Only I've been to school. Well, I mean, I started growing up copying comic books, like tracing them, and I would just take from out freehand trace and then just learn that way. So that was like my core style. I've always considered myself to have an eye for detail. Like even as a kid, I had like really dense photos and stuff, like drawings and such. But yeah, I've had one mentor in my life, my uncle, and he was a painter, a little bit of a visual artist, but he would probably be my biggest inspiration because I was so young. I was just a kid when I was getting into art, and he would really like pound that into my head, like the importance of it and like just the magic behind it and the purpose. Yeah, and after that, like I've been to a few illustration colleges. Like I went to Seneca for art and illustration, I think. I dropped out of that after like a year or so. And then I took animation fundamentals at Mohawk College. Dropped out of that too. I was probably there for a couple of years, but yeah, I'd be lying if I said I didn't learn a lot from those two courses, because I did. Mostly in terms of graphic design, like Photoshop and stuff like that. That's where I really learned those aspects. Yeah.
Nice. Is your uncle still making art?
No, not anymore. He passed. Geez, what, like last year during COVID?
I'm
yeah.
so sorry to hear that.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it was really rough, and it was during COVID, right? So I couldn't even go talk to him or anything. Like it was just all over phone call and stuff like that, you know. And it was heartbreaking. Yeah, it was. Still think about him every day, you know. Still miss him, but it's nice to know. Like I have a piece of him with me. Like I have all of his paintbrushes that he had.
That's great.
Yeah, my aunt just called me and she's like, "Oh, he wanted you to have these," and so she mailed me this like big box of just all these different paintbrushes, and that's what I've been using probably the last year or so. Just
what style did he favor? A certain style, or did he experiment a lot?
Maybe when he was young. I never got to see his stuff when he was really young, but by the time I was like aware and I knew his stuff, it was very he's Celtic, Irish. He came to Canada probably after World War II.
Okay.
And he met my aunt, my mom's sister, and yeah, they've been together. They were together since they were like 18 or something, and they had bunch of kids and stuff like that. But no, he Celtic artist. It was very colorful. He loved doing knots and like intricate designs. And something that was unique with him was that he would use recycled wood. He would find and scrape it down, carve it, like carve the shape into it, and then paint over it as well. So then it would really pop and have this dense image to it.
Do you have any of that?
I don't. My sister does. But you know what I'm talking about, right? Like Celtic knots.
Yeah.
Interconnectivity and all those concepts. He did quite a lot.
I'm always fascinated when there's something that's... So that's an example of something that's extremely traditional. Mm-hmm. Also, almost like, certain schools of classical music. But when you go to like, even at like a classical music like competition where people are playing the same piece, mm-hmm. you see people's personality come through the same thing. And just like there's specific knots, there's no... On paper, there's almost no room for creativity, but the creativity is like present, or it's something else. I don't know. There's like the person's kind of infusing this thing with like a piece of themselves.
Yeah, it's like likening it to like an accent or something like that.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I hadn't really thought of it that way. That's cool. I guess the same goes with art too, illustration, stuff like that. Kind of have like an accent, or like, I guess you'd call it style.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
A thing you've been doing that's super cool, but it's kind of aside from your more cartoony things, is like these nature photographs that you draw on. Mm-hmm. And I swear, I like Instagram like crushes things too. So that like this is like a pretty low res picture,
right?
Of like how many flowers did you like smash on top of each other?
I think it was 5 in total.
Five photographs of flowers, all in different opacities. So you're seeing, and you kind of like lined up like the central point of each flower bud. What's the pollen circle called?
It's called a pollen circle. That's what it's called.
No, it's not. That part of the flower has a name. No,
the middle,
the button. The button part of each. The middle of each pollen button.
The button on the flower.
On each flower.
Yeah. Oh man, I know so many people that know that, but
I'm a person that knows that.
Well, come on.
Why isn't it there? File not found. Anyway. So you have like the central point of each flower, like 5 flowers, and they just become this like prototypical flower.
Yeah.
It's like I dreamt of a flower, and then you draw like this very I don't know, like traditional looking, like something like a really fresh detailed cave painting of a flower over top of the flower. Mm-hmm. And I swear I stared at this for like 20 minutes, the Instagram picture, and I was like, I wish I could see this in higher resolution. This is freaking amazing.
I'll have to send it to you sometime if you want.
Yeah, sure.
You can smile at that one too and say you like it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe if I get the shirt with it on it, then other people just get to look at it. I want to be the one who looks at it.
Oh, that's a good point. You buy it for somebody. Buy it for a friend.
For my wife. I see her every day.
Your wife. Sold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Yeah, so can you tell me more about that? Because that's kind of... I would, with another artist, I would probably call it a series. I feel like you... I don't know. I feel like you just notice yourself doing it. You're not like, for my next display of creative prowess, I will create a bunch of flower mashups. And because I've seen from like your Instagram posts, like you developing this style. And I think it even started from maybe just like putting like GIFs on like pictures of trees, and then like maybe combining the GIFs and like drawing a bit, and then you're like, fuck, I have like Procreate or whatever you use for it. Adobe. Well, what is your program of choice?
Procreate.
It is Procreate.
Yeah. Snap.
Okay. And then you find yourself doing something on Instagram that you realize you have much more sophisticated tools for, and that's where it just takes off.
Oh yeah, lots have changed since I got the iPad. Yeah, because I didn't have a computer beforehand. It broke down probably like last year or something. They just stopped working, and then I kind of gave up digital altogether for a bit. So now that I have it, I'm like, let's do it, like full in. Like, let's have fun.
Yeah, you're like with incorporating the photographs, you're really kind of doubling down on what digital allows you to do that, the analog tools.
Yeah, there's so much more you can do with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to do that multi-layering a lot in like years ago when I first learned Photoshop, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. It
was just something I played around with, but recently like met some other artists online that kind of did the same thing. Mostly like copy paste, kind of like, what is that called? Collaging.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I was like, okay, well maybe I'll just not collage and I'll just layer, see how that goes. And frick, I take so many nature pics every day, like on my walks. I'm like, let's put this to some use. Like, let's have fun with it, I find it gets like the sparks going for creativity. Like there's not really a purpose to it. Like there is a purpose, like to have fun and stuff like that. But I'll just, like with the idea of layering the flowers on top of one another, that's just like a fun little exciting thing that I thought of that I just kind of wanted to mess around with, like when you get home or something like that. I think it's important creatively to kind of like mix that up a bit, like do something different one day, do something different another day, and then just kind of keep that like ping pong kind of thing between different avenues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Interesting. I'll say that myself. It's very interesting.
Go check it out.
Check it out.
Where do we go from here? So many places. I usually write a list of questions. No list. I have failed you.
We can only go up from here. I'll ask you a question.
Oh.
Michael AM.
Yeah.
Where did the AM come from?
Andy Mishkovsky.
What is that? Is that you? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice to meet you, Andy Mishkovsky.
Yeah, Michael Andy Mishkovsky.
Oh, okay.
And then it's like, there was a dad joke right there, right?
I missed it. Was there?
In the title of the show, yeah. The Michael AM radio show. Oh. So it's like an AM radio show. Like we record in mono here. Everything's on one channel. We talk in our public PBS voices, and
hello tonight.
Yeah, exactly. We speak in a low register sometimes, and
so
directly into the microphone, so it sounds like I'm right in your ear. This is what some of the kids these days are calling ASMR.
ASMR, as the intellectuals call it, is a beautiful thing.
Today we have Felipe Encina talking about art and flowers flowers in art and other artists who have painted or not painted flowers, or maybe created flowers and or other such things. Representations of lifelike and dreamlike images. Yeah, so that's where the title of the show came from. It's just my initials, and I saw some low-hanging fruit dad joke, and I picked it because I am an asshole like that.
No, if it works, it works, I always say. So, it fits. It's like it was meant to be.
Exactly.
Meant to be. Kind of like my name.
Yeah.
Like the F-E.
Yeah.
There's an F, Felipe, and then there's an E, Encina.
Mm.
It just fits into that swirl.
Yo, fuck off. Are you serious? Let me look at this. Okay, no.
Blown. You didn't.
Wait, what are you
this.
referring to?
It
is that?
Yeah. There's an F and there's an E.
Oh, hey, don't you stop recording.
Don't go to sleep. We're just getting started. Coming up next, we have some very luscious Dutch metal to soothe your ears.
Heaven nor hell.
Yeah.
Feel the call of the warrior.
Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Really good stuff.
Yeah, Volbeat.
Volbeat, who we were talking about before, off mic. Sorry you missed it. Too bad.
Have you ever had an experience like that where you like got so into something via the channel of hating on it that you somehow came out the other end a fan?
Oh man, I got one.
What?
Do I even say it? I don't want people to come after me.
Say it.
Nickelback.
Oh yeah. Oh,
They got some good songs.
they got some bangers.
Yeah.
I don't remember what had me thinking about this, but before I was taking a shower today, I had a shower thought and just about
A shot.
this. That sounds bad. It's like like another tense of shit or shat.
Mind shit.
He shot.
He shot on me.
But yeah, I had this shot where I was just thinking about this famous interview with Chad Kroeger, lead singer of Nickelback, where someone's like, a lot of people say Nickelback sucks, and he's like, Nickelback doesn't suck. Nickelback is a very good band. You may not like Nickelback, but we have, and he just like breaks down that they have all of the.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's and fucking like what are you gonna bash them on? Sure, they may not be the most creative band, but the guitar tones are insane. The brothers have phenomenal harmonies. Daniel Adair kills it on the drums. Excellent live show. I've heard so many haters like see Nickelback by accident, and like in a festival or something, and come out fans.
Oh,
and
okay.
I haven't seen them live myself. I don't even listen to them. I just
Me
defend
either.
the shit out of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
People will be like, Nickelback sucks. Now I will be like, listen, Nickelback does not suck. You may not like Nickelback. He got to me.
Listen, guys, they have a unique sound. They just put this different sound together. There's not other people like Nickelback. They got some different tunes.
Do they have a unique sound?
Well, maybe not anymore.
Because of all the copycats. Everyone wanted to be cool like Nickelback. But I think Nickelback wanted to be cool like, I don't know, Bush, maybe.
Okay.
Or Pearl Jam. Or
Pearl Jam for sure.
You know? And then I think, to be honest, I'm a big Pearl Jam fan, and not like a huge. I do like Pearl Jam a lot. They're probably not in my top 10, but
I like them, but I haven't listened to them in probably like a year or something.
kind of the deeper you go, the cooler they get. Really, yeah. Especially when you look at their early live stuff, it's really just a new level of performance and like audience engagement, and not on like engagement is such a gross word these days, but just like really being there with them, right? But I do feel that Nickelback created this waterfall of people who can be like, ooh, I can do this, and it wasn't that, like, a lot of that was not good.
That they opened a door that maybe shouldn't be open, but it's open now.
Yeah.
It's Pandora's box, so this is what we got.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Nickelback's like, sorry, not sorry. We got money, so now you guys deal with all that.
Yeah, exactly. So now, like, I feel like Nickelback have like taken that torch and like reignited it a bit. So like the Pearl Jam wannabe trend kind of died off, but then Nickelback like breathed some new life into it, and now it's like it's the same flame, but the people carrying it are like, we want to be like Nickelback, and those guys don't sound good.
Oh no, are they de-evolving?
Maybe there will be a new one.
Regressing, a new Nickelback. That's all we could hope for. It's a new Nickelback.
Exactly.
I'm sure the super fans would know.
Yeah.
I'm doing quotations with my fingers. Yeah.
Catchy lyrics seem deep as hell. I never made it as a wise man.
Couldn't count it as a poor man, still learn. And that's about all I know.
It's something about a blind man. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Just like this podcast, brought to you by socks. Yeah, just about everyone wears socks. 100% of the people in this room are wearing socks. If you want to be cool like the host and guests of the Michael AM radio show, go buy yourself a pair of socks. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. So when you were studying animation at Mohawk College, was there an after-school goal? Did you think maybe I'll get into like a day job where I'm making some of these cartoons and I can work my way up the ladder? You're shaking your head, yes.
I'm shaking my head, yes, audience. Yeah, I thought it would be like I wanted to do like TV shows or movies or do something in that regard. Yeah, that was like my goal probably since I was like 20 to like 23. That was what I wanted, to get hired by like a studio and chug away for them.
What would have been the dream studio gig?
Oh, jeez. If there's no limitations.
Yeah.
Ghibli would be sick. But
Yeah.
I know that probably wouldn't happen. But honestly, whatever I could take, like I don't know. Maybe even Disney, if I was really tempted.
There was a bit of like a wincy face. Why the winciness?
I can't hate on Disney. Disney's complicated. That's a beast of its own now. I think there's just so much to them. Like I watch their movies and stuff. So
What's the last one you were really inspired by or impressed by?
Do Marvel movies count as Disney? Or no?
Yeah, now
we're talking like Moana and like
yeah, anything like since like 20. When was the purchase?
When was a Great Takeover?
The Great Takeover.
Great Takeover.
Yeah,
a long time ago. Jeez, I don't even know.
2018.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so anything after that. So not like Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man? Just Spider-Man 2?
I think it was Amazing Spider-Man. The Garfield ones, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about Tobey Maguire. So that's... Andrew Garfield is out of the question as well. That's like 2015 or something.
But now they're back in it.
They are back in it.
But yes, that's now.
Spoiler alert. I haven't seen the new one. It doesn't matter. It's my fault.
They're not back in it. I was tricking you. It's a lie.
All those memes were photoshopped. Haha, you've been duped. I would be sad about that, actually.
But no, I don't watch a lot of TV as of late, or like shows, but I do keep up with the Marvel movies.
But was there how long has Disney fallen off for? What's the last one that you were like, hell yeah, that movie was a masterpiece from start to finish?
Man, I don't even know. That's so hard for me to pull out of my brain right now because there's just so many movies. Disney.
Is there the Lion King's a Disney masterpiece? That's
okay. Yeah, Lion King.
We can work our way from the Lion King is like no one can question that is like top tier animation.
That's a good one. Yeah.
So and then after Lion King. All the Toy Stories.
Toy Stories, yeah, that one I really loved as a kid. Toy Story was good.
Toy Story 3 made me cry. Like, that was so intense. I was not ready for how intense that was going to be.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I saw that in the theaters and that made me cry. Yeah.
That's the one with, like, Spoonie or whatever?
Is it?
Is that 3? How many are there? 4?
4?
Dude, that...
Do you count Lightyear in that now? Because Lightyear came out.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't either.
But, okay, but, like,
But I think
the
4.
whole thing with... I'm going to keep saying Spoonie, even though
Spoonie.
I think I know what it actually is. So anyway, they like... The little girl, like, imbues this object with sentience. And at first his response is, like, he's a thing that should not be. And he's, like, trying to make himself unalive.
Guess he's scrapped together, right? All these different parts.
Yeah, he's, like, some pipe cleaners, some glue, a fork.
A spork?
I think it's just Forky. I think his name is Forky or Fork. I don't know.
Oh, get back to us, guys. Someone tell us that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't look it up.
No.
Email me the answer.
Email.
The Michael AM Radio Show at gmail.com.
Or send a letter.
Yes.
Yeah, old school.
Not giving out my address. I'll get a P.O. box.
But no, those movies, they convey a lot of emotion. Like all those movies do, you know. I think that's why we're so drawn to them, because it's just this little compact like universe, and the whole team there and all those people there, they really have a way of like swaying you with all just these colors and shapes and sounds, and then they just make these stories and then pull it out of you. Like probably Toy Story I've cried to. I don't know another one I've cried to. I think Fox and the Hound, going back in time.
Oh yeah,
that one's super.
That one's heavy.
That's freaking heavy. Yeah, that one's heavy.
That movie's beautiful, but whoa.
But yeah, I think that alone is what made me want to get into animation at first, or like storytelling, or like doing a project like that, because I was attracted to that idea of like making something so big, or like helping, and doing something like that.
Have you been a part of any I don't know, like independent or like full animated works that you've
No, I haven't actually. Probably since 24, I gave up on that. I didn't want it anymore. Like that grind and the drive, and what really turned me off of it was kind of really coming to terms with the fact that it was like, what's the word? Like monotonous art. Like you do the same thing every day, and like from what I learned from the industry is like they hire somebody just to straight up do like the lamps or like lights. So like over the course of these years, there's like one person that just straight up just does lights and testing it and like angling and like.
So they're kind of like mastering the image in terms of the lighting, right? Is that what you're saying? There's like one guy whose specialty is like light sources in the animation.
Yeah, and then there's subgenres in that job itself. Like then we have like the sunlight or like natural light, or just it's wild.
So that's a very special skill set,
right?
It's kind of obvious in like a Pixar movie, like something that's 3D animated, right? Because I think if you know a little bit about how they're doing there's like light being cast. So it's I never thought that there would be a person whose job it is, just like a lighting director in a movie, who's like commanding a team of people holding and moving lights around. This guy's job is to tell the animators where to put the lights so that it's creatively bringing a scene to life.
And that goes for everything, like the texture of like a couch, or just like what the couch looks like. It's all like it's insane to think it's like all different people doing it and then just coming together at the end.
But then when you imagine yourself as doing one of those gigs and just being like this tiny cog in this machine, that doesn't appeal to you?
My ego's too big. I need more credit, so I just thought I'd try and do it myself in a sense.
You'd rather try to do your own thing entirely by yourself than be the lighting guy on My Neighbor Totoro 2.
That'd be pretty sick, actually. But yeah, just punching in every day, 9 to 5, and then looking at the same like lamp, or something.
Moving around cartoon lights. Telling you, don't.
I might as well work at McDonald's because then at least I can like have a conversation with somebody next to me. But yeah, that life, I'm glad I left it behind because
my friend was telling me about his cousin or sister works at like a digital animation studio, and her studio was commissioned by, I think it was even Disney who bought the rights to the Chronicles of Narnia.
Okay.
And that there was a scene in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe where there's like a battle going on, and their job, the whole studio's thing that they were commissioned to do is to like have a Minotaur and animate him running. And then they were like, thanks. And then they put the Minotaur like green screened behind some trees, and then they blurred him because he was in the backdrop. And they're like, it wasn't like a I don't think they were surprised that this was happening there, but it was just like, it's not just one person. It's like a whole studio doing this thing that's like, it's like 20 people working on making an extra be in a movie.
That's so much money, and that's so much time in something that you could have maybe just got done a lot more simple. Maybe I'm just being kind of cynical, but it just anyway. Maybe. That's just dense. That is dense.
Yeah,
that's dense to know.
So that's, you know,
that's like perfectionism, like to the max. You know, like,
but you can't make these masterpieces without, you know, all of these small bit players.
That's true. I guess that same goes with everything, I guess, right? Like, the world we live in, like the things that we have, it's all like a collective.
The reason that these microphones don't cost like $10,000 is that, you know, there's like a whole system that, you know, makes them expedites the mass creation of them, right? All these little things that take all these people doing these tedious, monotonous things.
Oh man, we think lights are tedious. You imagine like just measuring out like just the size of like the microphone holder, and then just like, oh man.
I've done jobs like that, like quality control for like electronics companies and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
honestly, I can't lie. Like I'd probably be really good at that, and I'd probably really enjoy it. Like,
I kind of miss that kind of. So there's a lot of it in Burlington because they have like a lot of this like I don't know, like industrial assembly line type stuff.
Okay.
And I just like fell into like a few jobs like that and didn't really hold on to them. But yeah, it's just like, is this exactly this size? And you take out a little ruler, and then maybe someone else down the line was like, this doesn't look right, but that, you know, they like passed it forward, and then, you know, you're setting the bar for how good the things that come out of it are. It's like more efficient to make a bunch of something and find out that a handful of those things weren't good than to like focus on like a smaller amount. That's kind of sad and kind of amazing. I don't know. But it's like there's levels to it, right? You can be X sloppy or X detail oriented and like have the trade off for the turnover rates. I guess that applies to art too.
Oh, doesn't it? Yeah. Cutting corners and just, kind of hiding things and whatnot. you know?
Sometimes that's just what the doctor ordered, though.
Oh, yeah, you got to do it sometimes.
It's the Big Mac,
or
the junior chicken. There you go, even better. I don't even eat chicken.
That's good. I eat chicken sometimes. But my day job is just straight up measuring, and I use like a graphics program, and I use like a laser cutter, as well as a vinyl cutter, and I like cut numbers like most of my day. And like they have to be a certain size, and like they have to fit to the material a certain way, and like so I talk about like the monotony and like not wanting to be part of it, but like at the same time I still do it and I still kind of enjoy it in a way, you know. I still measure a lot. I still try to cut corners.
And your the job is like kind of like apparel branding type stuff, like you're saying cutting numbers, like that's teams ordered jerseys,
hockey jerseys, all that stuff. Sports.
You like sports?
I like sports. I don't really watch sports, but I think they're pretty cool.
Have you played sports?
Soccer. I played soccer. I played basketball.
You don't do either of those anymore, do you sometimes?
No, I don't do much of any sports. The only sport I do is walking, mostly. That's a sport in itself.
Do you really feel that way?
No. No. Well, maybe I do. Maybe I think. Maybe tonight I'll let you know. Okay. I think it is
definitely a sport.
Yeah, it's a sport.
Yeah.
But I lost my train of thought. Bye, train.
The sports thing was a tangent in itself, and prior to that, we were talking about detail-oriented day jobs and such, and the parallels of the factory day job to the animating the blurry centaur job, or the lighting Mike and Sully.
Specifically Mike and Sully.
Exactly. Well, there's one guy for the two main guys, and then he has his underling chumps take care of the secondary characters, because it's not as important that they be lit properly.
It's my chumps' work.
Can we call me an assistant? Shut up, chump.
Yeah, chump.
What do you think the chump makes? Do you think he has a salary or an hourly wage, or by project wage?
Let's say salary. They all do salary over there, don't they?
That's pretty good.
So. That's not bad. What do they make? What does an animator make
for Disney?
Like $80K a year or something last I checked some years ago.
For real?
60, $80K? Not bad, right?
That's not bad.
No. I changed my mind.
Yeah, are you sure you don't want it? Want that Disney gig?
Disney bucks. Just wait.
Only at the parks.
Oh, and soon the world. Give it like 200 years and then we'll have like Disney currency or something.
Yeah.
Like Disney country. Disney bucks.
Disney World is just going to expand. They have one in Japan. They have one in France. They have 2 in the United States. There's not a Disney Canada. What's up with that?
Oh, what's that there? What does that mean? We need to look at the map of the world and where they are exactly and see what the connections are. If this is some like Full Metal Alchemist kind of situation.
Dude, I wanted to say Full Metal Alchemist, but I was like, that's too out there.
Oh,
no
well,
one's.
Good thing I'm here.
Yes.
Psycho-Folkloric. Yeah. That's
dun, dun, dun. Bring out the red string and the thumbtacks. Montage of us putting the pins in the map.
20-minute montage, and then the final image is just nonsense.
Yeah.
There's no sense to it.
Oh yeah, this is just these are just high population areas with low land costs. It's pretty straightforward business model for a theme park.
But we figured that out for you.
Yeah.
So you're welcome. Yeah, that's crazy to think that there's just this whole world that is fantasy that exists on this planet, and like people go there and spend like their days and nights there, and like there's even like a town in some of them. Like
they have like their own like highway signs and stuff, like
Yeah.
within the Disney parks and stuff. It's a city really, like in Orlando.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's wild, and it all came from one freaking dude. His brain came from a mouse.
That's what I love about it. Like
Yeah.
just the tenacity of it,
Mhm.
and to keep like trying to do that through the Great Depression. He's just like
This
people are like, we
work.
can't find food. He's like, all right, that's fine. I'll still find a way to pay 8 people to try to animate a mouse.
Working on an assembly line.
Yeah.
Or something, doing something goofy.
Like literally taking like the one guy draws a painting, and then we're gonna put a boat on a piece of glass, and then we're gonna put the back of the boat, and then we're gonna put the mouse, and we're gonna move the mouse around the paper mouse on the next piece of glass, and then we're gonna put the top of the boat and some trees and stuff on the next piece of glass, and then we're gonna photograph that 24 times for every second of movie. Like
It's going to take us an hour to get this one frame, and we'll take a photo, and then we'll do it all over again. Just minimally different, just like so slightly off, just so there's a flow to it. Talk about monotony, man. Back
imagine
then-
seeing a cartoon in a theater in like 1938 or something.
Oh, I wish. Can you imagine, like, erasing your memory and just going and then seeing it? That would be...
People just scraping together like 3 pennies to take the whole family out for one night evening of distraction to see Steamboat Mickey. I totally have the timelines wrong. What year do you think Steamboat Mickey was
Steamboat
actually
Mickey.
was?
I think it's Steamboat Willie. I'm going to correct you there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is he?
Because Willie was the original character. He was like a bunny, I think? Or he had long ears. No, I'm wrong.
Oswald.
Oswald, that's what I'm thinking of.
But Oswald was not on. I was off by 10 years. So it is Steamboat Willie. You're right about that, but he is
ding.
Mickey Mouse.
Okay. Yeah, I can picture it now. I'm so sorry, Mickey.
So Disney wanted to call him Mortimer.
Mortimer. Oh,
It
that's
was like, we'll call him Mortimer Mouse, and someone like took him aside and was like, that's not gonna
Dude,
sell.
that's not rolling off my tongue.
I was like, oh. What's short for Mortimer? I'm like, why don't we call him Mickey?
I'm like, all right.
I said, you son of a bitch.
Take my money. Get out of here.
Never undermine me in front of the men again.
God, how many... That must have happened for sure.
There he is.
There he is. Yeah, just happy.
Yeah, where he just like slaps his accountant or like business manager. That's fine. That's my phone.
That's his phone. Bye.
It's Gorilla Glass. This podcast
Oh.
is brought to you by Gorilla Glass. They're the guys who make the glass that goes on top of your Galaxy phone, I think. Don't look that up.
Nothing says strength for a phone protector screen like a gorilla.
Gorilla strength, sharp teeth, biceps, glutes,
Hands.
hands.
Big hands. Funny hands. But no, Disney though, to think about, it's funny how all that came from like a mouse of all animals. Like you think about animals nowadays, everyone's like got like a tiger tattoo or like, oh, I got an eagle or like I got this. And then the thing that's running the creative world is like this little freaking mouse, little goofy face. One of the meekest animals of all time, but he still represents like such a shape of our culture.
Bukowski always talked about Mickey's dead hollow eyes and how he hates them. And it's so fucked up to think of them that way because it's so cute and stuff. But once you see it, I feel like you kind of can't unsee it. You're just like, they're just like holes into nothing.
The classic Mickey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they changed them up, right? Like someone saw that and they're like, maybe we should give him like whites to his eyes instead of just like fully dilated. Like
That's so. And let's give him flesh colored like skin. Like his face is flesh colored, and I've never seen a mouse like that really. And he's all black.
you don't want to like really pick apart the Mickey Mouse extended universe, right? Because it gets so strange so fast. Like why does Mickey wear pants but Donald doesn't? Donald wears a shirt and no pants. Mickey wears pants and no shirt.
It's the multiverse of Mickey. There's just so much going on. You can't.
And then like is Goofy a dog? Pluto's a dog, but he's Mickey's pet. So it's like why
is this dog less sentient than the other dog?
Yeah, is something wrong with him? Is that are they keeping
Is he an alien or is he like an experiment or Is there actually a meaning behind it? Like maybe there's a meaning that Walt Disney never wanted to share that was like really dark and like fucked up that just we don't know.
Yeah.
Like who knows? Like I'm betting my money on that.
Yeah.
I'll never know though.
Is it some sort of weird
some fetish or some creep?
Yo, that's the hottest take of all is
calling Dr. Freud.
The Pluto is actually like he's like doing a thing, like he's fully naked. He's a dude, right? Who they keep in the backyard, and he's just into it. Like he's on a leash and shit.
Oh yeah,
and he's just like he's another Goofy, but he's like he could talk, but he doesn't because he's so into this dog play.
Oh, like hardcore LARPing.
Yeah,
it could be.
Yeah,
and the cameras roll off, and he just goes and like makes himself some coffee or like smokes a cigarette, and he's like, "Oh damn it,
that's messed up, Walt. What the hell are you feeding to the population?"
Oh my gosh, the things he put in our brains, we're wacky, man. Let's not even talk about the '90s that came after that. No, just a slew of madness. Some good stuff.
Disney or all the cartoons?
Let's say all of them afterwards.
Ren and Stimpy was insane.
Oh, that one's dark. I used to love that show. Such expression.
The yelling.
Looking on the phone.
I'd be looking at my notes if I had my notes, but I didn't make my notes because I thought I'd just hang with Felipe.
That's all we're doing. We're hanging.
We got a good rapport, so I figured we'd just riff, but now I'm out of things to talk about.
We're just shooting the shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Hanging out.
We don't have to have a purpose. And that is the approach that I started this with. I started getting... I was like reaching out to people, and I'm so honored by all the people who have decided to do this, but especially the ones who are just like, hell yeah, I'm down, and just ready to like geek out about creating or like whatever they're doing. Right? Some people even do things non-musical, and I want to pick their brains and see how they see the world and stuff. That's super cool. But some people I'd reach out to, and they're like, I'm not really in like a promotion cycle in terms of my album cycle. And I'm like, okay, like, yeah, I get it. I get that's how, like, it's a smart way to structure your time, and maybe if I did that, I'd be a more successful artist than I am. What is success? What is success, Felipe?
Oh, dang, success?
Do you care about success?
Success is a word.
Ooh.
Not really.
Why not?
Because success is it's such Like an abstract word. Like, what does that mean? I guess financially, are we talking? Financially successful? Yeah, sure. I'd like some money. I've probably been changing my outlook a little bit the past year. I've been trying to get some more boku, as they say. Money.
I haven't heard that.
No?
No.
Boku, that means money in some language, some slang. Not sure. Yeah.
I don't speak that language, but it sounds cool. I wish I was cool like the people who say boku.
Boku, Dolores. But
do you think...
But I consider myself successful in my own way.
Ooh.
Like, I'm very proud of myself and how far I've come. And, like, even though I don't have something, like, published yet, I still am, like, happy. And, like, I have a fulfillment, like, with my art. And it keeps me lifted. And you're playing with the cable on the mic.
I'm sorry, is that distracting you? I'm just sort of like...
No.
It's called stimming.
Stimming?
So
I do that too.
Just a very...
Fidget spinner.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I started, man. Like, I was a very fidgety, picky kid in school. Like, I picked my nails.
Someone just gave you some crayons and they're like, do this.
And then, like, and then I would stop paying attention to the teacher and just be like, oh, I can just do this on paper all day and I don't care. And yeah, that still exists now. Like, I'm still, like, fidgety, but just not to that extent, you know. But it's definitely in my art still.
So do you feel like you're zeroing in on your own definition of success, and does life become easier as you learn to define that?
Oh, that's so deep. Yeah. The definition has changed for me for sure. A lot of my setbacks were my perceptions of, like, where I should be, like, as an artist, or what I should have done already, compared to a lot of comparing myself to other people. Like, what have they done? What are they doing and stuff like that. But a lot of joy has come from just not paying attention to them in that way. I'm still happy for them. I still think they do amazing stuff, you know, like Robin Lightworker and stuff like that. Those people are freaking shooting stars. Like, seriously. But
for real.
But we actually just painted something, like, in Brantford. We're actually gonna go this weekend and work on it. But
a mural, right?
Yeah, the mural. Yeah, that's been fun.
There's 3 of you working on that, or more?
Yeah, myself, Natasha Rose, Robin Lightwalker. Yeah, we.
That's Robin, like, spearheading that.
Yeah,
like
that's
she was commissioned for something, and then she's like, "We're gonna go big and get a team for this."
Go big, get a team. Yep.
Okay, so is there, like, when you work as part of that team? What differentiates that from being, like, the lighting Mike and Sully guy?
Oh, damn. Well, this mural has my flair on it because they wanted me to do, like, an indigenous overlay on top of it. But I still want to answer your question now, like, how is that different than that? But I like murals because there are these big projects that have an end in sight that's kind of short, like, it's close, like, it doesn't seem too big, and you get to use paint and color, and, like, with Robin and artists like that, it's usually abstract and, like, fun, and I just kind of, like, there's not definite imagery we have to portray in some of it, like the background and stuff like that. So it's very fun still. I still feel like I'm a kid painting, like, on the wall, like, with crayons and stuff like that when I do stuff like that. So maybe I'm more referencing, like, technological aspects with, like, art, I guess I would say.
Right. I imagine certain, not theatrical, but, like, I mean, certainly movie productions have an end in sight and usually are, like, a contract term, right? And it is interesting. I think that's something you develop as you get older. I feel like every now feels like forever when you're younger.
Damn.
And then once you've had a bunch of nows come and go, you're like, oh, there's kind of a rhythm to these, or like an overlay of rhythm. You know, there's, like, this very fast rhythm of now, and then this bigger, like, seasonal and annual rhythm that you start to tune into. Because how, you know, when you have 12 years under your belt, what do you know about, you know, what do you know about a decade, right?
Yeah.
You're like, you can't even count in a band. All right, here, we're going to play a tune. One, da-da. You got no one on the same page as you. No one knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's even something that, lies in the future if you found the right project, just like this mural, right? I mean, I'm sure the next thing that Robin has you, maybe not the next thing, but very soon Robin will have a bigger thing that you'll be a part of. And maybe there's going to be more people on that team and you'll be a smaller part of a bigger thing.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I'll be the cog. I've been trying to run away from this whole time. But no.
And love it, though.
And love it. No, you're 100% right. I've been open to these concepts. So, laptop stuff going on. Edit that.
Yeah, don't get distracted by that.
Oh, too late, man. I'm distracted.
Don't get distracted by that.
Hello. I'm Sloth Machine. I'm sitting with Michael AM Radio. Live.
I'm a bad influence.
Bad influence. Don't do these. Don't
do what Donnie don't does.
Better don't.
You know what?
Better don't do that. But
do what? It's fine. Smoke weed in your 30s. It's fine. If you are in your 30s, smoke weed.
Every day.
Let's take some tolerance breaks or whatever.
Every other day. Smoke weed every other day.
Hey. Smoke weed every other day.
They need to re-release that song for a more controlled generation.
Really themselves, like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, are just like, that's kind of a lot of weed smoking. We got kids and stuff and responsibilities. Exactly. I don't want to forget to pay my taxes or make a mistake.
So every other day, kids.
No, not kids.
Oh, no.
Don't smoke any weed, kids. Your brains aren't fully formed. You have to be at least 25.
Yes, 25. Don't do drugs, kids. Because kids are listening to this.
I hope not. That's why it's got the E on it on the Spotify. It's explicit. That means it's cool and you're not supposed to listen to it.
Oh, kids will definitely stay away from that then.
Yeah, exactly.
If we knew no kids in the internet, they respect their boundaries.
They're like, "Ooh, I'm not logged into YouTube for children."
No, my Netflix isn't on kids right now. Gotta get back in it.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
So your brain was you were self-aware somewhat by the widespread available internet 1.0. How old were you the first time you saw a video of a guy dying?
Oh my gosh, this got dark really quick. AM after dark. How old was I? Oh, actually, I was like 16 or I started using the internet when I was like 14, 15.
Yeah.
Probably around that age. Probably let's say like 16. I saw some stuff I didn't want to see.
Because there were those websites which were just uncontrolled, people found videos on the internet. And I don't know if they were I don't think they were user submitted. I think there was a host of each of them. And it would be I don't know, they'd put out a couple of videos a day and everyone watched all those same videos. And sometimes it was a cartoon that's badger, and everyone's like, mushroom, and everyone's laughing about that.
Snake.
Yeah, or a cool skateboarding video or something, and then they're like, here's a beheading, and you're like, whoa, fuck, I didn't need to see that.
Don't want to see that, no.
So that's pretty cool that they're kind of blocking that from being the front page of the internet.
Oh, thankfully. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I know that people don't like censorship, but
they like being raw and untamed. Don't judge me. Here's a picture of a head exploding.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
Yeah, so that's I'd call that a type of progress, even though in in doing so, we've kind of like handed over the reins to like our, minds and privacy to kind of these singular, massive corporate entities that do not have our best intentions in mind.
They just cater to,
it's a give and take, you don't see a beheading, but like a corporation owns all of your personal data.
Yeah, they just put like thousands of messages in
and
your
then
brain
sells
every
it to
day.
people, and it kind of like
Sells it,
low-key controls what you want, and
You want to
what
talk
you
about
see.
lighting job? There's like people that work on just how to get in your brain, spend all that time with like how do we get through to this person?
There are
Right?
that they looked into the people who like studied slot machines and stuff.
Oh.
And they're like when they figured out that like swipe down to refresh function or whatever, that's like pulling the one-armed bandit, like they say, you're just like, oh, let me get 3 7s of dopamine, please.
Right? The way it clicks, the way it lights up. and
Golden
all that
retriever
stuff.
video, yes! Ching, ching, ching.
They need like a slot machine, like a website that just plays a video, and you don't know if it's going to be beautiful or funny or just completely traumatizing. Just go for it.
Someone like takes a dump and then they like stick the phone in the toilet. You pull it. That's just like 3 unmatched. I don't know how slot machines work, so I was gonna try to say a funny, but I didn't have enough information about the thing I was joking about. We'll just cut that completely. I'm gonna seem so clever in this. Everyone's gonna think I'm clever.
Oh, he did it. He figured it out.
Look at him with the word. I just like patched together a joke out of individual words I said.
Yeah, you gave them the pieces, and now it's their job to put it together and then laugh later.
Recording magic.
Yeah. Grab a pen and paper and just write these words down. Rearrange it. I hear people talking.
Yeah, people live upstairs.
Ghost.
No, they're alive.
Human. Which is arguably more terrifying.
People are scarier than ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen a ghost?
Oh, that's deep. Things have happened, but I think I'm going to keep that a secret for the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I won't answer
I
that one.
won't ask
Shutting down.
more questions about ghosts.
Ghosts. Ghostbusters are cool, man. What were we even talking about?
I got attacked by a jungle spirit once.
What is that?
This is a duppy, if you will. This is all right. I'll tell you this one. This is people. All right, on the. It's not even that I don't want to say it. It's just the maybe the story is not as long as I think. Okay, so before. Yeah, no, I'm not doing it on the podcast. I don't know.
Okay, right.
If you didn't share your ghost story, I'll tell you after. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. When the sun goes down, we'll light a campfire and then we'll tell our story.
I have a little fire pit.
Oh,
probably.
really?
Yeah. If we can
see.
Fuck yeah, we're like an hour and 25 into it. Let's just start a fire. Fuck this podcast shit.
Yeah, we're gonna go sit by a fire and chill and talk about real
and tell
deep
ghost
shit.
stories. Tune in on Patreon if you want to
That's
hear the
it.
ghost stories, because we'll be recording all of that. Thanks for listening. Michael AM Radio Show out. Okay, so we actually didn't end up doing a little campfire and telling ghost stories in the backyard, but we did continue to hang out in the living room where we record the podcast and created a little accidental piece of video content, the first piece of video content for the show. Basically, I played some guitar, and Felipe listened to what I was doing and started drawing some stuff, and then my guitar playing responded to his drawing, and we took a time-lapse video of his drawing, and you can now find that on YouTube. It'll be the first piece of YouTube content for the show. What you're hearing in the background right now is actually some of the guitar playing, but you can only obviously see the video online. You can find the link in the show description. I'll put that there. Or you can go to YouTube and search Guitar and Marker Jam Felipe Encina draws to Michael A.M. looping guitars to Felipe's drawing. Anyway, thanks for listening. Hope you get a chance to check that out. Have a great day.